Welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. On today's show, we're talking about why some free agent signings may be better than they look and tend to backfire. We're looking at some of the guys in this year's free agency class that may be a bit of a mirage. So let's get into it, Josh, in just a second. First, we got to play that fancy beat. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 305 Gridiron, our fanciful way of celebrating the Miami Dolphins. We sit here and chat about everything that they're going to do this offseason, from the NFL draft to free agency to roster moves to a new coach to a new GM. Josh, it has been an exciting offseason already, and it's about to get way more exciting because free agency starts on Monday. The legal tampering period, which is the most ridiculous name I've ever heard for a period. Begins on Monday, March 9th. Mm-hmm. And of course, the league year begins March 11th at 4 p.m., which is next Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So between Monday at 4 p.m. and Wednesday at 4 p.m., teams can come to an agreement with players who are deemed unrestricted free agents.
Correct.
They can also come to agreement on trades, but they could have done that all along. We've seen a few trades come across already in the league. Miami not involved in any of those just yet, but we do know just from the conversations that John Eric Sullivan had at the NFL Combine, which were not very helpful, but everything is on the table with Tua, right?
Yeah.
Him and Jeff Hafley came to the Combine to obviously get their faces shown. They're the new face of the Dolphins. They want to make sure that they're being seen at this big event. And they had their response to the Tua question absolutely hammered out. Both of them interviewed probably a dozen times with various outlets. And I listened to quite a few of them, Josh, and the answer is the same across
Very good
the board.
coach speak. They're amazing at coach speak.
Yeah. They are well trained.
Very. And it's, you know what, I'll be honest with you, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is. As they said, they spoke a lot and said absolutely nothing.
They said
nothing. But you know what? It wasn't this gobbledygook of a bunch of ums and likes and that we got with McDaniel. And
McDaniel also said a lot about nothing, but it was in a more painful way for the person listening.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem was he was trying to say a lot of things. But I really loved how lockstep they seem to be. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it is just a facade as they get to know each other, but these guys came from the same organization with the Green Bay Packers. I fully believe they are in lockstep. There is a clear direction. There is a clear org chart. One is above the other. There are no questions about who's doing what and who's making decisions and who's not, and who needs to just fucking take their medicine and who doesn't, kind of thing. It's been a really nice intro to a new GM and a new head coach.
I think the exciting part about free agency starting on Monday, and by the way, if we've buried the lead here, we're talking about free agency traps.
Oh, yeah.
A top 5 free agency traps specifically we're going to talk about, and that's, situations, players, things that you should look out for when you're looking at guys that you would want the Dolphins to consider coming into the building. But I think it makes sense to talk about the Dolphins free agency position as it stands right now. I don't know if there will be a lot of news about the Miami Dolphins from the perspective of signings.
Mm-hmm.
I think there will be a lot of news about the Miami Dolphins from the perspective of guys that are no longer with the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. We're fully expecting that Bradley Chubb is going to be a post-June 1st cut.
He is.
Which means that there's only one more that we could do, right? We know one of the few things we've kind of learned from the conversations that we've seen with Sully and Half is that they want to get things done quickly.
Yes.
So if they cannot find a trade partner for Tua by March 11th, odds are you will see Tua on the transaction list as opposed to first cut as well.
Yeah.
Now, they have been saying all the right things, and they have been saying that he could stay with the team and all of that. But I think that becomes harder when the quarterback has come out publicly and said it'd be cool to play somewhere else.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I
so
don't blame him, right? I mean, look, I'm not here to
no,
hate on
I
him,
would want a fresh
right?
start too if I were
Yeah.
him. Yeah, you know. And I think there's going to be a few of those things for the Dolphins, right? I mean, you mentioned in a few shows, Alec Ingold has a pretty high cap hit for a fullback, and we could
Mhm.
see a release and then re-sign of him. Jason Sanders was hurt all
Mhm.
last year. We have no idea what the situation is there.
And I think it's like a $4 million cap savings if we cut him. So I mean,
Right.
or maybe even more at this
And
point.
that would leave us without a kicker, of course, but we could
Mhm.
always look to re-sign him. We did see one to actually just today, was it?
Today or
Where
yesterday. Yep.
today or yesterday, where we finally released Liam Eichenberg, and we're still not entirely sure if his career is over or not. He has made some comments about it potentially being over. And then Ethan Bonner signed his restricted free agent
Yeah.
thingamabobber, whatever it's
Mhm.
called. Um,
Tenure.
yeah. So I think that's it for the Dolphins so far. I would I would be weary of thinking that anybody on the roster currently is safe.
No, they did. There have been multiple reports, both from Dolphins media and national media, that Miami is currently working on uh, re-signing Achan, uh,
And
Brooks,
Brewer
and Brewer.
and
Yeah.
Brooks, yeah.
Yep. So that could open up, depending on how those contracts are structured, that could open up additional cap savings for us too. Cap room.
Also, lots of rumors about Minka Fitzpatrick being traded.
Yep.
Those rumors are loud. The quieter rumors have been the Jalen Waddle movement. I
Mhm.
don't believe we're going to move Waddle, but I think if somebody comes with calling with a decent enough offer, they would listen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If somebody came with a first and something for Waddle, not saying he will get that for him, but if somebody were to come with like a first and a third round pick swap kind of thing, I think Miami would entertain it. I do.
If I think we should be targeting a first next year, so we have ammunition to get a quarterback. If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
but we'll see. So what do you say we get into the free agency traps? I think that's about
Sure.
all there is in terms of news for the Dolphins, really.
Mhm.
That's pretty much all the roster movements and rumors that we've been hearing, and it's pretty much anybody's been hearing at this point because
Yeah.
nobody's more locked in than we are. so, so let's go into the top 5 injury free agency traps, and I think we really wanted to talk about this just as a preamble to free agency
Of
because
course. Yeah.
how often do you go on like Reddit or you're just talking to somebody at work or a friend or something like that, and they just go on this rant about like why didn't we sign X, Y, and Z? And then you're
Yeah.
thinking to yourself, well, one's 36, the other one has come off 2 major injuries, and the third one is a psychopath, right? Like we're here to kind of debunk some of these traps and identify some of the traps so that you're not
Mhm.
one of these guys who's like, I want to sign all the people who are injured.
Give me all of them. I want them
Right.
all. They won't cost
Speaking
a
of
lot.
which, that's the first trap on the list there, buddy, is injuries.
Mhm.
A lot of these guys become free agents because of injuries, and depending on how serious the injury is and what position they're playing, that
Mhm.
could be a very uh, meaningful thing to keep an eye on. And we saw that with Nick Chubb, right? I mean, Nick Chubb was a
Yeah.
dynamic running back, as dynamic as they come. He like triple tears his knee, and that's it, man. Like
Poof. Yeah.
his career is over.
Mhm.
He had no interest really in free agency, and then the Texans bring him on, and he really didn't do much there. Now the Texans just traded for David Montgomery.
Sorry.
Players I kind of look at from this perspective, from the injury perspective, if we're
Mhm.
looking at who's available. Trey Hendrickson's going to be a free agent. Good for him.
Yeah.
Maybe he can go get paid. I don't think it will be by Miami. He is
No.
a hell of an edge rusher, and yes, we do need edge rushers, but Trey Hendrickson is in his mid to late 30s. He's coming off of every injury riddled season that you could think of. And truthfully, we just don't have the money to afford him because despite his injuries, he still does have back-to-back 17 sack seasons that he can hang his hat on.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's gonna
you know,
be so far out of our price range, it's not even
yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Another one, if you're looking for a quarterback, Daniel Jones had a really healthy half of a year last year, or 3/4 of a year, I guess. But listen, I think Daniel Jones is one of the smartest and probably highest rated free agent quarterbacks that's on the market right now. I've always been a fan of his. You and I both live in the Northeast, and watching him with the Giants, I thought the organization ruined him more than anything.
Yeah, and the lack of talent at the on his offensive line really kind of
right. I
screwed.
mean, we're talking about an extremely smart guy who knows football like the back of his hand, and just really put in some bad positions. And he finally gets a good position with the Colts, but then like the injury bug comes back again, man. That's always been his problem. He can't stay on
And
the
I'm pretty
field.
sure that they tagged him, if I'm not mistaken.
They gave him the transition tag.
Transition tag, okay.
Which I am not entirely sure what that is. I do know it's not as strong as the franchise tag.
I think it just means if you're willing to pay whatever. Hold on, I'll look it up.
They'll probably get some compensation if you are willing to match their offer or something like that. Two other names I have on this list are Braden Smith and Boye Mafe.
Yeah.
Braden Smith, of course, is an offensive lineman, but has missed significant injury time over the past year or two. And then Boye Mafe is an edge rusher who has shown some flashes, but he's been extremely inconsistent, and of course has also faced some injury concerns. So injuries are really a thing to watch out for.
Yeah. Okay. So transition tag, just for those. Let's button up that little question.
Sure.
Lets a team keep a pending free agent's rights by making a 1-year offer, the transition tender. The player, however, can still negotiate with other teams. So the transition tag equals no compensation if the player leaves. So if Daniel Jones does not decide to stay with the team and finds another partner, the Colts get nothing in return.
That's an extremely interesting move by the Colts.
However, sorry, I can't read fast enough, but if the player signs an offer sheet elsewhere, the original team, in this case the Colts, gets the right of first refusal, meaning they can match the offer and keep him. If they don't match, he walks and the team gets nothing back.
So they don't know how much to pay him, and they want somebody else to tell them.
They want the league to set the market for him.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
That's bold.
Well, you know what?
When the Vikings are right there.
Dude, it's a smart strategy, if I'm being honest, because Daniel Jones is such a amoeba. Because again, to your point, he has the brains and he has the talent. He just can't stay healthy. I mean, do I ever think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback in this league? Probably not, in my opinion. But could he be number 11? And would I take number 11 right now? Yeah, I'd take number 11 over no Tua and Quinn Ewers, right? But the problem is what do you pay him, right? So what is he really worth?
He's going to want 40, at least 40 a year.
45.
If guys like Tua and Kyler are getting 50,
and
he's just coming off one of the best years of his career, even though it wasn't a full season.
Could you imagine the fucking Vikings sniping him at like fucking 40?
The Vikings wanted him. What a tragic situation that was. That's why their GM just got fired, because he biffed that situation so hard.
I didn't know that they wanted him that bad.
Well, they had him on the practice squad.
You're right. Yeah,
he was on the Minnesota practice squad, and the GM's mindset was, I'm gonna see what Sam's market is, and if it's too high, I'll just sign Danny. And then Danny was like, well, I don't want to, and he went to the Colts.
I'm out. And actually was the league leader in yards and passing and everything until his injury.
The Colts offense was fantastic. But anyways, injuries, right? Like the Colts went from the hottest team in the league the first half of the year to missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what injuries can do to you. So keep an eye on the injury bug out there. Anything else you wanted to say on the injuries or any of the players we mentioned for the injuries?
No, I think you nailed it, man. Yeah.
Perfect. Scheme. Free agency trap number 2 is scheme fit. Yeah. So often, Josh, we see players go out there and just absolutely ball out who haven't balled out before. And it's because they fit into a scheme, man. They fit really well into a scheme. So then what we're looking for is guys who also fit into our scheme, right? So when you're looking at scheme fit for the Miami Dolphins now with the new coaching staff, I think on offense, it's largely the same, right? Bobby Slowick runs a similar system to what Mike McDaniel ran. They run the Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco 49ers offense. And then defensively, it could be completely different, but Jeff Hafley in his career has really kind of been a chameleon. He's able to shape his defense around the players he has.
Yeah.
But one thing we do know about the defense is that they like size on defense.
Yeah. And they like size at the wide receiver position, according to Bobby Slowick.
So when you look at scheme fit from Miami's new system,
Mhm.
on defense, you're looking at size now, more so than we were in the past, where we were looking at all speed all across the board.
Right.
I
Short,
think
fast, twitchy.
right now you want to take a look at the speed side of things, and on the offensive side, again, we want it all speed, right? We
Mhm.
want it really agile offensive linemen. I think they still want agile offensive linemen, but I think they are willing to give up some of that agility for the bigger bodied
Yeah, that's what they've
players.
said. That's
Yeah,
exactly what they said. Yeah, they
yeah,
wanna get bigger at the wide receiver position at the across the offensive line.
yeah. So some of the names that come to mind for me, Alec Pierce from Indianapolis
Mhm.
comes to mind for me. I think the biggest one is Malik Willis, of course,
Yeah,
who bombed out with Tennessee. Wasn't really given the fairest of chances there. It never
not at
felt
all.
like Tennessee actually wanted him on the team.
Yeah, no, exactly. That was, Vrabel hated him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was John Robinson and Mike Vrabel not being on the same page for that pick.
yeah.
And then he goes to Green Bay, and he's in Green Bay for what was it, 2 years, a year,
A year,
uh,
I think. Yeah,
a
it was
year.
just a year. Yeah.
Kind of revitalized his career a little bit. He had a really good preseason performance. Then Jordan Love went down in the season. He was able to keep the team afloat while Jordan Love was out, and this has him buzzing now because John Eric Sullivan was asked about him at the combine, and he was like, "I would love to have Malik. I just don't know what he's going to cost."
Yeah, people
Right?
are saying, like, upwards of 30 million a year. Like, for Malik Williams, who has 16 starts to it or 6 starts or whatever it is to his name,
That's
like, "I'm all set. Thank you. No, thanks."
that's just like, and that's the thing about just the world, right? Like
Yeah.
people
Yep.
are worth whatever somebody is willing to pay for them. And that's the same thing for products, houses, whatever
Mhm.
you're purchasing. And we're not purchasing people here. Let me take that back for a sec.
Yeah, be careful how
Roll
you
that
phrase
back
that.
for a sec. But players are worth whatever contract a team is willing to give to them,
Mhm.
right? We did not think Christian Wilkins was worth 30 million a year or whatever the Raiders gave to him. But the Raiders
28.
sure did,
Yep.
right?
And we're a pro get your money. Like, I can't hate you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad at Tua because we gave him 53 million a year. It
What's
sucks.
he supposed to say? No, that's too much money.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna say? Like, "No, I
Neither
get
of us
injured
are
a lot."
saying that.
Yeah. I mean, so I never hate on a player
No.
who gets a shitload of money. It's just unfortunate that some
But
of them do.
But Malik falls into two traps here, I think, and we're
Yeah.
going to talk about the name recognition trap a little later on. But Malik right now has name recognition because he was a highly drafted quarterback. Even though he was the
Mhm.
second round, he was one of the top two quarterbacks in that draft taken.
Yep.
Um, and then he just got so much buzz in Green Bay, which is crazy because I don't think of Green Bay as a buzzworthy kind of town, but he got so much buzz there
Yeah.
that like I think he's fallen into the scheme fit trap. He needs to go to a place that's really going to build around him,
Mhm.
right, and fit what he wants to do. Which you could argue we might do, but we might not. I don't know that we're necessarily running the same exact type of system that Green Bay ran on offense. Um, and then I think that the price is going to just be astronomical. Like
It's real interesting, man. It's really I don't know how teams can justify the numbers that are out there. 28, 32 million a year for Malik Willis. Bro
I think
has
I would
like
be surprised
I mean, I thought it
because
was
it's
high when we did our show a couple weeks ago. We were like, we each get eight choices, like
yeah.
one free agent, one player to cut, one player to sign, a couple draft picks or whatever. I forgot the structure of it. I mean, I thought I was crazy for saying Malik Willis at 18 million a year. I was
Yeah.
like, oof. I mean, I don't know about that, man.
Here's the thing, like the NFL is so like everything, it's so cyclical, right? Like
Mhm.
we have seen off seasons where quarterbacks get overpaid a ton, and then we
Tons.
course correct it, and then nobody got paid. Like, are
Yeah.
we going back to this realm where now, like, because of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield's success and stuff like that, where we're going to start seeing like Daniel Jones and potentially Geno and like Malik Willis
Fucking
get big
Kirk Cousins getting
contracts?
another 180
Kirk
million.
Cousins, right? Like, is Kirk Cousins gonna like? It could.
I don't think so. This just reeks of desperation to me,
Yeah.
right? Because in no world, look, Malik Willis, I think would be a very good option for Miami. Do I think he's a long-term starter for Miami? Like long as in he will get another contract with us. He'll be our starter for 5, 6, 7 years. No, absolutely not.
And if you're Malik, what are the options? I think the options are Miami and Pittsburgh. But like there's always a dark horse that comes out of nowhere. The Jets
Atlanta.
will throw money at anybody.
Yeah. Atlanta.
Atlanta's, we're not sure how they feel about Penix at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Vikings. They're not sold on they for some reason they
clearly
don't like
not sold on JJ. Yeah,
that, which is insane to me personally. If you guys don't want JJ, give him to us. We'll take him.
What's wild is that Kevin O'Connell's so good at the quarterback thing, right? At growing quarterbacks. So if he is concerned about JJ, I kind of have a concern about JJ.
I don't. I love JJ. I loved him coming out of college. That's crazy to me.
He was rough last year. He was
Well,
real.
I mean, the team wasn't great either.
I mean, it was a 14-win team the year before.
Year before, yeah, but it's not the same team. They did not
That's a
look
good team, man. That's a good team. I don't know. I don't like JJ. I take Malik over JJ, honestly.
That's insane. That's an insane take.
It's not. I think a lot of people.
You're rage baiting people. That's what you're doing right there.
I'm not. JJ just doesn't. I don't know. Other guys in the scheme fit trap. Odafe Owe potentially, of course, he never lived up to his potential. I feel like.
Agreed.
Rashid Shaheed, who got traded from New Orleans to Seattle, and now he's a free agent. He's very
really?
much a
That's crazy.
Very much a scheme fit there. And then Boye Mafe, who I can't even for the life of me remember what team he played for last year.
New England, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Also a scheme fit. Anything else you could think about, or anybody else you could think about that's a scheme fit trap, even if it's not this year?
No, not off the top of my head. I mean, I think you painted the picture well enough, right, with the players that you mentioned.
I'm going to throw this one to you then. I think there's actually a name on here that can't believe I didn't put on this list. Actually, two other quarterbacks that I can't believe I didn't put on this. But the third trap for the free agency is the age and decline trap. Older players who still have fan buzz, they have name recognition, but likely past their expiration date, or at least not what the fan expects them to be. Yeah. Who falls in this list for you?
Yeah, for me, this is hard, right? And this is where I think it's hard for fans to kind of take their heart out of the player, because let's take Mike Evans as an example. Right? That's a perfect example of a player that is still producing, right?
Yeah.
Probably, arguably maybe the best wide receiver in Tampa Bay history.
I mean, if he's not, he's right up there.
I mean, if he's not one, he's two.
Because Keyshawn played for them, right?
Yeah, right. Yep. So, 10 plus years, I think over 1,000 yards every year, I think is what it was.
Last year broke the streak, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's still a phenomenal player, but I think he's what age? Can you look it up real quick? He's going into age like 30.
I want to say 36, but 32. You're right. 32.
Yeah. 32. So, on the decline, these are the kind of play like the age and decline, right? So every position, and I'm not going to go through every position, but every position has this kind of peak, this a point of no return from where you're getting the most talented output of said player at this position, and then it goes downhill. Let's take from a Dolphin standpoint. Let's take Xavier Howard as an example. Not on this list, but let's just use him as an example. One of the best cornerbacks in the league, coming out, hits that 31-year kind of mark and then just tanks.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not saying Mike Evans is that. I'm not saying that that's going to happen to Mike Evans, but look at Kirk Cousins, look at DJ Reader, look at, Jalen Watson, Isaac Smalo, the lineman.
Aaron Rodgers, who I can't believe I forgot to put on this list.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I feel like is a slight anomaly because, what is he, 49 or 58 or however the fuck old he is now?
63, I think, this year.
Yeah, and he's still, he's not playing great, but he's still better than
good.
Tua. He's better than Tua, right? Let's be honest. So I think teams really need to watch the name recognition, which I know we'll talk about later, mixed with that age and decline trap, because it is a trap. You latch on to these players who, what's the Devontae Adams? Is that who I'm thinking of? Who, tore it up and then changed teams and had a really good couple seasons and then went to, where is he now? LA? Raiders.
He went to the Raiders and stunk. And then he got traded from the Raiders to the Jets and stunk again. And then he went to the Rams and he played well with the Rams.
Yeah. So teams need to identify what their point of age is, if you will. Yeah. Right. Wide receivers, typically anything over 30, you start to see a decline. Cornerbacks, anything over that 30-year-old mark. Offensive linemen, it tends to be, outside of the anomalies, 29 to 31. You have, and so on. I'm not going to go through every position, but and you always have your anomalies. But teams, in my opinion, they in a lot of cases when you see this bite them in the ass, it's because they thought they knew better than everyone else. And they're like, oh, we can get them, we can squeeze that last little bit of juice out of them. When the fact of the matter is sometimes it's better to just move on.
Yeah.
Then,
I think we're seeing that right now with Minka, right? Like that. I think that's why it'd be nice to get something in return for him because 29 going into I think he's going into the age 30 season.
Let me look it up.
And obviously we're in largely a rebuilding phase. So if we can find a team that could use his talents and potentially get him some success, that would be way better for us.
Yeah. Come on, ChatGPT. Give me his age. He's 29 years old. Yeah. So he's 29. He'll be 30 going into, I think, week November. So on November 17th, whatever that week 2, week 3, something like
that. All right. How about we move to trap number 4? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a big one.
Yeah. And this is what we talked about, what I just kind of alluded to, which is the name recognition trap. Yeah. High profile signings that didn't improve the team, from a production standpoint, right? Yeah. So it's the Mike Evans, a
lot of the same names.
Yeah,
Trey Henderson, Romeo Dobbs, like
exactly. And it's those names where it's like, hey, maybe we can squeeze the last little, not to be repetitive, but we're the team that's going to get the most out of it. Deebo Samuel's another one, right? Like at what point do you stop giving Deebo Samuel 700 touches at the wide receiver position and 200 touches at the running back position? He's just not, his body can't handle it anymore. People break down and shit happens. Father Time is undefeated.
I mean, you could put Tyreek on this list we're not interested in Tyreek. Obviously, we're the ones who cut him, but hey, Khalil Mack, 35 years old.
Yeah. Bradley Chubb. We just released him, but another team's going to sign him. He'll get another chance.
Yep.
At what price point versus at what point does it make sense and what point does it stop making sense? Because again, it all comes down to the cost versus the reward, right? So what you're playing, what you're paying one of these high recognizable names, you're paying a premium because he's going to sell jerseys. He's going to get butts in the seats, for lack of a better term. But what price point versus production does it make sense to say, you know what, this is a trap. I need to stay away from it. And that's where it's very difficult for teams to do, it seems like, especially over the last 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you see guys, I mean, just looking at the list and like what their expected market value is, you see guys 35 years old expected to get 18 million. You're just like, Jesus, right? Like
you're nuts.
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone is Travis Kelce, right? Not everyone is the Kelce brothers or Aaron Rodgers. And I hate using his name because I'm not a fan of him, but he's 43 years old. Not everyone's Tom Brady, right? Not everyone is, it's not always going to be Baker Mayfield where he's a high draft pick, shits the bed at a bunch of places. And then somehow the light clicks on for him. And he's now a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the league. Right.
The Kelce's, I feel like, are poster children for what consistency and just working with your team gets you. Yeah. Like neither of them ever left their team. I don't think either of them ever wanted to leave their team. And they just kept working with the GM. They built a strong relationship with the GM and they worked with them. And, Travis Kelce doesn't have a contract right now. Nobody in the world thinks he's signing anywhere else.
No, that's crazy. Or if he's not playing.
Right.
If he doesn't re-sign a contract, it's because he didn't want to play.
Right. The Chiefs are probably sitting there going, you know the deal every single year. You come in, sign a 1-year deal. We'll pay you top 8 tight end, and we move on.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt that his
brand new beloved is
a billionaire.
Very well to do.
Yeah, very well off.
Good for her. Also self-made, so good for her.
Amazing.
Last one on the trap list, man. It's got to be the leadership/culture perspective. We're talking about, insanely enough, mostly wide receivers fall into this trap.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jalen Ramsey comes to mind. Like a talent like Jalen Ramsey doesn't come available if it's not, a culture question or a leadership question. Tyreek Hill's a huge name on that. This is like signings that hurt the locker room. And I think this one is number 5 on the list, but arguably the most important one, because what we've seen in Miami, especially over the Mike McDaniel era, is that we signed any big name that wanted to come here. And then what that resulted in was a locker room that was disjointed, unpassioned, and quite frankly seemed like they didn't really give two shits about football or winning or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so this is the one I'm watching probably the most under this new regime.
Yeah, another name that comes to mind in this is Kyler Murray, who's going to land somewhere else, right? He was just cut or designated post June 1st, I believe, by the Cardinals.
It's insane to me, by the way, that people think he's going to come to Miami. I do not even like
that
is a lazy correlation. Why would
I don't even, you know what? If Chris Greer was here, I'd be worried.
Right.
Because that screams Mike Tannenbaum and Chris Greer right there. All right, let's get rid of Tua while eating almost $100 million for another quarterback that's literally the exact same, except maybe worse.
It could be worse. Yeah.
I mean,
he's more agile, or like he's more athletic. That's about it.
Yeah. And for me, this leadership culture thing, right? I'm a firm believer in Jimmy and Joe's over X's and O's, right? Mm-hmm. I think you need talent on your team. You need leadership on your team. You need culture on your team before scheme. Yeah. Because none of the scheme works if there's no cohesion and there's no leadership and there's no talent. And I think really, to your point, of all of the 5 that we've talked about, to me, this is single-handedly the most important one. And it's not even close.
Yeah, and like as we get ready for draft season too, it's one that it's the hardest for us as fans to find information on. Mm-hmm. We don't get access, obviously, to what is said behind closed doors. We get to hear rumors from the Schefters and Rappaports of the world and stuff like that, but they're all just rumors, right? Yeah. And we're in a silly season now of the NFL where teams are literally feeding them rumors. Yeah. So like, which hilarious that teams caught on to that and started feeding rumors to the talking heads. That I'm here for that. I love it.
Good business.
Yeah, I love it. But that's when it comes to the draft, and we just did a mock draft episode on Tuesday. Like, that's the thing that I wish I had any sort of insight into, because I think that is exactly like if you're looking at, let's say, this is a bad example because I don't know their personalities, but let's say at 11 you're looking at Caleb Downsfell and Mansour Delaney's there, right? Mm-hmm. And Downs just was awful in interviews. In their one-on-one sessions, he was mean. He was unprepared. He was just didn't seem like he would be a good fit. And then they ended up going with the less talented. We're splitting hairs here, but Delaney, because of that, right? And that's the difference. I think a major difference in free agent signings and the NFL draft and all that stuff is the culture, man. Especially when you have a unit, like a leadership team that cares so much about culture, like these guys coming in now. Mm-hmm. We are going to. It's going to take us some time to get used to it, I think.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to take us time to like adjust our mentality to be like, well, wait a minute, what do you mean you didn't take Mekhi Lemon?
Right.
Well, it's because apparently, like, here's a perfect example. Mekhi Lemon is probably the most talented wide receiver. For me, he's the second most talented wide receiver in this draft. Word is, he bombed all of his interviews. I mean, just absolutely bombed. So let's say there's a magical world where at 43, Mekhi Lemon is there. But at the same time, and you pass on him.
Yeah.
Or we trade down in the first round into the 20s and Mekhi Lemon is there. Now the fans are going nuts because they're like, what do you mean you're passing on a top 10 talent? Because that's where McShay said that he should be drafted. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter is, to your point, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. He could have been a complete asshole. He could have not known his shit. He could be, the team could perceive him a certain way based on their interactions. And they're not drafting him because of that, not because he's not talented. Because at a certain point, you have to put a premium on leadership and personality and traits over talent, because what you don't want to do is have this talented player come in and just nuke your locker room.
Yeah. All right, man. That's our top 5 free agency traps to watch out for. Injury history, scheme fit, age and decline, name recognition, and most importantly, leadership. Before we wrap it up, though, dude, I meant to do this early on and I forgot because I did not sort these notes properly. But there have been some players that have been franchised and are no longer part of the free agency pool. So I just wanted to mention them real quick. Kyle Pitts, the tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, was franchise tagged. George Pickens, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, he got franchise tagged. Breece Hall, I am sure much to his chagrin, because he did not want to play for the Jets. He gets franchise tagged by the Jets, which is just such like a Jets move. And then you mentioned Daniel Jones got transition tagged by the Colts. I don't know if any other tags actually happened. Kenneth Walker Jr. or Kenneth Walker III did not get tagged.
No, which is insane to me.
Right, but Zach Charbonnet is very good.
No, of course he is.
Major injury. Yeah,
of course he is. But dude, it's Kenneth Walker. Like, what are you guys doing?
Maybe that's why the Lions traded David Montgomery, because they're like, we're gonna just go get Kenneth Walker.
Bro, I would quit the league if that happens. I'm out. We're gonna turn this into the 305 gardening channel.
Yeah, we could do that. There's people out there watching gardening.
I'm sure my wife would love it. She'd actually pay attention.
Yeah, mine has no interest in this. All right, man. I do also want to mention that the 305gridiron.com is live now, and depending on when you're watching this, there's a slew of updates set to launch on March 6th. So we have a ton of information on there. We have the big board top 150 prospects going into the 2026 NFL draft. We are going to have a draft tracker on there as well. So while we are live during the draft, during round one, we will be tracking our picks, all 7 rounds of our picks. Josh has asked me to try to come up with some sort of ticker situation. We'll see if that happens. But I'll definitely play around with it. I'll see if I can do it. And then, of course, we have our offseason tracker, which tracks all the moves that the Dolphins make. There's a few that I don't bother to put on there because they're just minor transitional ones. But, releases, added players, trades of major names will be on the 2026 transactions list for us. So if you just are like, I just need one place to go to find the Dolphins like transactions, the 305gridiron.com, click on, if you're watching this after March 6th, click on the transactions label up on the header. All right, Josh, another great episode of Miami Dolphins football here.
Oh yeah.
I want to thank everybody for watching and for subscribing. We're at 151 subscribers. Our goal is 250 by August 11th. I almost forgot. Whew, brain is working.
Yes. Really get us there. Really, really help us get us there, guys. This is a big, this will be the 1 year mark, I believe, of the podcast being up. Getting to that, what is it, 250? Is that our mark?
250, yeah.
Would be amazing. And I can tell you this, if we get there, we will be, picking a subscriber at random, and they will be winning a Miami Dolphins jersey.
Oh,
this is a big giveaway. It's a big one. You can pick your player. I don't care.
Jr.
We'll talk. Hope you enjoy your Ted Ginn Jr. orange creamsicle jersey and extra small. I'm kidding.
Extra small.
But yes, no, seriously, please. We fucking love each and every one of you and truly appreciate you joining us. We're two Dolphins fans that just absolutely love hearing ourselves talk and getting to talk to you guys fans live on our live shows and in the comment sections on our pre-recorded shows. So please tell your mom, tell your friend, tell your brother, tell your sister, get them to subscribe, tell everyone, tell your coworkers, get us to that 250 mark by our 1 year mark. And we will be doing a really cool giveaway for everyone.
We are starting to sprinkle in live shows more and more too. We missed doing the live shows, so we're starting to tinker with, doing one live, one recorded each week. That'll, after the draft and that lull after the draft between draft and preseason, who the hell knows what's going to happen there. We'll have content for you, probably not live.
Probably not live, but we go live every single week during the season. So
twice a week.
Twice a week. That's right. Yeah. It's been so long.
But for this episode of 305 Gridiron, thank you so much for watching. That was our free agency traps list. We are so excited to start free agency on Monday, March 9th. Cannot wait. We will have fresh episodes with our reactions for you next week. But until then, you have a fantastic night, day, evening, wherever you are in the world. And till next time, fins up, everybody.